Hey, how are you? My name's Salt, and welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm going to date when this video was recorded, because in place of streaming, I'm recording this video because my internet died. That doesn't actually date this video very well at all, does it? My internet's been having problems lately, but apologies for any and all of that. Let's talk about this deck. The title of my deck is incredibly accurate. Tamiyo is busted. Tamiyo Field Researcher is a 4-drop planeswalker with a +1 that says choose up to 2 targets until your next turn when either of those creatures deal damage, you draw a card. Pretty good. +1 can draw up to 2 cards. Doesn't say your creatures. It says target creatures, meaning you can choose your opponent's creatures. So your opponent swings at your Tamiyo, you draw 2 cards. Pretty good. -2 is a pretty good protection. Tap 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Can be really good for any number of reasons. And then the real reason this card's absolutely broken is the -7, which isn't that much. Draw 3 cards, you get an emblem with you may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. You get Omniscience as an emblem. So, what do we do with stuff like that? We play really expensive cards. Karn's Temporal Sundering, Eilish Nord, Emiria's Call, Alrund's Epiphany, Overflowing Insight, Vanquish the Horde, Voron Collects, Voice of Hunger, Jin-Gitaxias, Core Augur, Jin-Gitaxias. Then we play ways to proliferate really fast. An Exonerable Tide, Heckin' Tezzeret's Gambit, Tekuthal, Izuri, who comes in and proliferates. Ichormoon Gauntlet that allows you to essentially take infinite turns. I'm not joking about that, by the way. If you have the right spells going on your board, and by the right spells, I essentially mean Ichormoon Gauntlet and Tekuthal Inquiry Dominus. If you have both of those things on boards, you will probably draw enough cards and generate enough proliferation triggers to essentially go infinite and take an infinite amount of turns. It's incredibly powerful, and it can combine with stuff like Evolution Sage, just in case you're not truly going infinite, to make you be double proliferating onto all of your planeswalkers, to then make them finish going infinite with Ichormoon Gauntlet. You don't actually go infinite, you will deck yourself eventually with stuff like Teferi's Ageless Insight, which is why we have Lauren in here. No, I'm not joking. Lauren's in here, because I've nearly decked myself with Teferi's Ageless Insight several times, and that is post dumping my entire deck and my entire library back into my deck with Midnight Clock. Technically, what's the name of it? It's like Gaia? There's like a green spell that I should have put into here. Oh, here it is. Gaia's Blessing. When Gaia's Blessing is put into your graveyard from your library, shuffle your graveyard into your library. If you can find a way to do that, you can essentially make it so that you will not deck yourself to your own stuff, but you have to find a way to make sure it does that from your library, which doesn't always happen if you're just drawing it with Teferi's Ageless Insight. We have tons of ramp in this deck, though. We got Into the North, Paradise Druids, Growth Spiral, Huatley's Raptors is in here for proliferations, not ramp, but it ramps with Cornucopia, Ornithopter, Mindstone, Cold Steel Heart, Arcane Signet. Got some early interaction, Swords, Wash Away, Swan Song, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Atlanta War Elves, and Elvish Mystic in there for ramp early. Thirsting Roots is a really great new-ish card that was just perfect for this type of deck, allowing you to proliferate really early. And yeah, this deck is very gross. It will not win quickly. It will not win cleanly often, but you will probably win. Believe it or not, our biggest win cons involve our opponents scooping, not actually winning. What do I mean by that? Well, you try playing into Voron Collects Voice of Hunger and Jin-Gitaxias Core Augur simultaneously and see how you feel. Can't draw cards, and when you do, they tap and get locked down for a long period of time. Our combat win cons, if we ever actually have to do it, involve using things like Red and Realmbreaker to swing, the flipped version of Invasion of Ikoria to swing, Sunfall tokens, Teferi Temporal Pilgrim tokens, Felidar Retreat tokens. It's a lot of tokens. It's not a lot of attacking with my creatures to really win. It's a lot of just value grinding the match until my opponent goes, oh, it's probably worthless for me to stay here because they are casting everything for free and drawing their deck every other turn. Very, very dangerous stuff. Very powerful stuff. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I hope you enjoy breaking the game as much as I do. Let's hop right into it. We are going first. We have 1 mana. This is unkeepable. We are playing Narset Enlightened Exile, though. This hand is debatably fine. Why do I say debatably fine? Because, like, we will be able to wash away eventually. We'll be able to cultivate on curve. If my opponent... We're gonna go for this because if my opponent just like hard plays out Narset, we're grabbing a green and an extra blue. If my opponent just goes for Narset, we just swords it. And we actually swords it by playing Teferi to untap and then swordsing it. Ah, okay, well we have to get rid of that first. So speaking of playing Teferi, I bet they're holding up a wash away. We'll find out though. Yeah, they were holding up a wash away. They were expecting me to slam my commander into their wash away. They were not expecting Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, who was going to bounce their protection spell of Linvala. Yeah, this exact, like, I want to play a thing that holds open 1 mana, means they were expecting me to play Tamiyo out, and they were going to keep Narset safe via Linvala's sacrifice effect, which is a smart play. But I don't think they were expecting me to slam Teferi and just take over the game, drawing cards, untapping mana at instep, and just rocking them to pieces. GG's though, opponent. Opponent is going first. I think technically the thing to do is to play this on green, so we can play the Mystics, we can play the Vorak on 3. Playing this on the blue. And praying, essentially. I mean, we could play this, because we... oh wait, no, we can play this on white. We can always force this to be white, no matter what. Right? Man. We need the Vorak to basically guarantee our land hit so that we can get Tamiyo on board ASAP. Being able to play a Vorak on turn 2 is really good. My opponent is playing a tap land. All for me. The other reason the Vorak is good on 2 is because of the fact that, I can swing in ASAP. We'll reveal this because it does the thing. And we will play Tamiyo, we will plus Tamiyo on the Vorak and the Lotus Cobra and profit. Probably. We can keep Yarok super tapped down if we do. I don't know why they wouldn't. So here's the thing about what just happened. My opponent played a tapped Watery Grave to save 2 life for no fucking reason, and then play Cultivate. If you shock in the Watery Grave, you have 2 floating mana. Or you'll have an extra floating mana. Which means you could have had 2 mana here and played a 2 mana play in place of wasting that fucking mana, opponent. Commander. Plus.
See if your talents are worth catalog.
Give me cards, thank you, Prophet. Draw card. Hi, Jenny G. That was Death Touch, right? Yeah, Death Touch, lifelink. When this thing enters, it proliferates twice if I pay 3. I don't have that yet. God, that'd be sick, though. A swing at Tamiyo? Yo, thanks for the card draw. Thanks, bud.
You could use some manners.
Okay, we will poke that and poke that. This.
Every story is worth listening
that.
to.
1. Go play the Raptor. And we will hold back. So now if they swing in with either one of their fancy schmancy little things, I draw cards again. Very cool. Now, do we lose here? Potentially. Yarok's got some insane potential in its deck. Like, I believe they'll get, like, 2 Lotus Cobra triggers here, but here's the thing, though, like... What are they gonna play with all this mana? Gyruda? Okay, well... They get, like... nothing from me, I'm pretty sure, because that's odd. That's odd. They just double whiffed their entire Gyruda. Lol XD, dude. Oh, okay, I'll kill that. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck you wanted that trade, buddy. To the card. Maybe that was just like a rage hit. Oh, also, we get to Ultimate Tamiyo now! Poggers! We now get to play everything from our hand for free!
I have
Thanks,
many
opponent.
scrolls
You're
of
great.
data to share.
What? No, where are you going? But you did such a good Gyruda play. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why the hell they have Gyruda in this deck. I feel like that's just like I get to search for stuff with Yarak, but like, you have to build around Gyruda. Gyruda doesn't act, like, as you saw, even with a double proc, they went through 8 cards from both libraries. You missed every single time. Fun fact, I was about to annihilate them. Jin-Gitaxias, Teferi, Cold Steel Heart, Paradise Druid, Amiria's Call, into Overflowing Insight, into bouncing their everything. It was going to be great. But GG's opponent. On to the next. We are going first into Phylath World Sculptor. Not exactly what I was expecting to see. I do like this hand, though. It has 2 mana, sure, but it has ramp. But I always like ramp. I'm sorry, opponent. To have it at this point to just mute people. Goodness, I wish this was an untapped land. If this was an untapped land, I would be so happy. We'll be able to hold up Reject Imperfection, I guess. If, my opponent gonna bolt the bird? Ah, Brushfire Elemental. Unfortunate. Let me think. What do I want to get here? No, you're not allowed to play Lotus Cobra, I'm sorry. I think I just want to play Tamiyo. Tamiyo doesn't insta-die to this, does it? Change my mind, I'm playing my other Tamiyo. Little damage now for a lot of heartache later. Keep their Brushfire Elemental tapped down so I don't have to think anymore. I mean, not literally don't have to think anymore, but like, it keeps it out of the equation. I don't have to worry about it. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, because that's a lot of our mid-game nonsense. I don't know why they did it like that, but hey.
In time, you will welcome us.
The Brushfire Elemental is a little scarier, IMO.
Such an imperfect form. Every story is an opportunity for new data.
We are gonna swing and hit with the thing, just for the lulz. We're not blocking with it anyways. It's just for the lulz. Now, if they know how to do this right, they could probably find a way to get Devilish Valet's power high enough to kill Tamiyo completed Sage. They do not. They also apparently don't have any creatures that cost red in their hand. Very sad. To the card.
Flesh makes you weak.
Cool. Let's take an extra turn, shall we?
I should have brought more parchment. You do not write
nice,
the
we win.
story.
Why do I say that? Well, we ult him.
Our time together is finished. Study yields enlightenment.
The past, present, and future are bound by threads of time.
You cannot delay our
We now get to play out our entire hand here for free, including something like, I don't know, paying 3 to proliferate twice, drawing 2 cards, which is pretty cool. Using you to proliferate again, drawing another card, using you to draw a card and proliferate, putting an extra counter on that Teferi, proliferating again, proliferating and drawing a card, drawing another card, proliferating again so we draw more cards. Yeah, you... Sorry for the loud noises, but, we're dropping our pain lands. They sat through that entire turn just to concede? You sat through that whole turn just to concede? So disappointed. I was 1 turn away from going infinite, effectively. Because I would be able to double proliferate, take the extra turn, double proliferate, take the extra turn, double proliferate, take the extra turn, I believe. Because each one of them would have taken the extra turn once, and I would have just kept drawing cards with Azuri to play out win cons, and Yeah, I was like one proliferation, or maybe if I had ordered it better or done it a little bit differently, I could have maybe hit an extra turn there. Yeah, whatever. GG's opponent. We are going first with an almost unkeepable, but totally going to keep at hand into Elishnorn, Mother of Machines. Pretty scary mono white commander. Who basically ETBs value out the wazoo. We'll see if they're playing anything cool and fun, or if they are playing things that are boring. So far, not exactly excited by what I'm looking at, but hey, who knows? We're just going to ramp super hard into Tamiyo here. Do I think they run ossification? They probably run ossification. Alright, well. You were cool while you lasted, Tamiyo. I mean, I guess they could be running Mana Tithe, right? Or like a Surge of Salvation.
Let us have a storied battle worth.
I decided to just say screw it and go for it because I drew Canker Bloom, and Canker Bloom will immediately blow up any enchantment that they play. You could have a Fateful Absence too, right? Ah, there it is. I was wondering what the fuck they were holding up that was holding up Prio there. Fateful Absence, that makes sense. Thanks for the free card though. We'll probably just slam Jin-Gitaxias after this. I guess they're like, I'm in mono white, I can afford to play less plain, so I'll play something like that. Does my opponent swing? Thanks for the card, bud. You're great. Ooh, hi, Vorinclex. So next turn we get to take an extra turn. Which will be pretty yuckin' cool. It'll allow us any number of... Let's see, did they order these triggers right? Looks like they might have. Or the game ordered them right for them. It's so hard to tell. I highly recommend you do this. Random tidbit. Auto-ordered abilities? Just turn them off. 90% of the time, those don't help you. That's just like my opinion, man. Play this on a white, I guess. Don't really matter. Take an extra turn. Goodbye, Rumor Gatherer. Draw a card. Hi, Azuri. You're cool. Bonk. They get to draw a card. Literally doesn't bother me. I get to take an extra turn. Unfortunate. You can just slam this down. Yeah. We draw a card here. Invasion of Zendikar, pretty cool.
I would like to ask
Click
about
that
the
and
lunar
that.
anomalies you
Swing,
have
draw a
explored.
card.
I have developed a new
Raff it.
hypothesis.
We do have Serum Snare to be able to bounce their Elishnorn if they get ballsy enough to play her here. Voice of the Blessed. How absolutely dull. I hate this card with a passion. When I first started playing Standard, this was a fucking format all-star, part of the Mono White Weenies gang, the most annoying deck under the sun. Do they want to give me a piece of card draw? Yay or nay? Oh, they want to give me card draw. Alright, well. Jenny G, you get it, and you get it. The joke's on them. I'm just gonna bounce the Voice of the Blessed now. Now we play land. Now we play Invasion of Zendikar. Draw a free card, quote unquote. Go get some free lands. Boop. And boop. Oh, they were just hang back. They don't want their Lunarch veteran to die, so they probably won't swing with it. But what they don't know is I don't care about my Jenny G. He can die for all I care, because we're going to ultimate Tamiyo. Technically, he's going to get Sunfalled. Okay. That's a very cool opponent. Round of applause. You manually tapped your lands to play your Mind Stone. No! But I mean, the right play is the Jenny G, right? Man.
I will not
What a rude
stand
person.
for such violence.
Can't believe they've done this. Now I must end them in everything that they could ever possibly love in this world. I'm gonna play Vorinclex. Say hi to the voice of hunger. Ah, we should have tapped the signet for him. Darn, that's my bad. Oh, we're just gonna blow up their Mind Stone here. We're gonna make them sack it. Because, see, here's the thing. If they do sack it to draw a card, they lock down one of their lands. Meaning they technically only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands next turn. We want to hold this back. Because we want to be able to play it as Emiria's Call, not as a land. And so if my opponent wants to play a board wipe to get rid of my stuff, they're just effectively locking themselves out of the game for an entire turn, which is pretty rough. Or if they're playing Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, they're locking themselves out of the game for effectively an entire turn. That's rough, buddy. Okay, let's start with the simple. Draw a card. Draw another card. Put us minus
Like
on the
phases of
Elish
the
Norn
moon,
and the Skyclave
like
for
waxes
funsies.
and wane. Here, have some of my notes.
Swing of the Invasion. It flips into a nice little 4/4. They can jump block. My opponent doesn't get to play anything on this next turn, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't believe he's a land, so I think he only ever taps for... Oh, it's a land! Oh, I didn't realize I had that synergy. That's cool. Alright, well, anyways. Don't get the ETB, but it's still very good to have him on board. I get to draw bunch of fucking cards. I'm at 0. We get to dump these two here. Alright, I need to drop one. We'll drop the Mystic then. Pilgrim's better. That stuff doesn't untap. All that stuff doesn't untap, and they are in a world of hurt. Vornclax. This guy's a little silly. A little silly guy. Just a little silly guy locking you out of the game for an entire turn, huh, opponent? Vornclax is one of the reasons this deck actually works the way that I constructed it. He locks down your opponents if you're allowed to get to this portion of the game, and I think our opponent might be salty roping. Look, you gotta know. If you see like blue and white from your opponent, you're gonna face long turns out there in the queue. And above all else, stay strong, stick it out. And make sure you play those games all the way out to the finish. Be a good opponent. Let your opponent have their fun with their fancy decks that are trying all sorts of weird, wacky, and crazy ideas. This message brought to you by the Let People Have Fun Playing Magic the Gathering Arena Association. Let people have fun playing the Magic other. Darn it, I almost got through that whole bit without stuttering. I'd say we can fix it in post, but I'm not going to fix it in post. These videos are typically almost an hour long already, and fixing anything in post besides maybe throwing some like text overlay on the screen is not something that typically happens. I will say, try not to rope your opponents. It's generally pretty rude to everyone involved. You're just wasting your opponent's time. And that just makes you kind of rude. Like, I get it, like, you don't like what your opponent did, you don't like the cards your opponent plays, but, like, does it really do anybody any good to rope them? I could maybe give them the benefit of the doubt of, oh, maybe they just disconnected from the game. Like, that's always a possibility. I will say, however, most people who disconnect from the game don't go through, like, 3 full ropes. Reconnecting to the game typically only takes, like, a minute, max. Well, that's just my experience. Your experience could be different. Most of the time when I hard quit out of the game because it's crashed in some way, shape, or form.
I am glad to help my colleagues. I'll typically find my way back into the game, so to speak, within a little bit. Oh,
they're back! Okay. They're ephemerating. Alright, what else are they hitting?
I have become too involved with my work.
Oh, well, that was a very silly decision, opponent. I'm not gonna lie, that was an incredibly silly decision. Vordenkleck's Voice of Hunger is literally still on the battlefield. He is still sitting right there. Get some stuff out of my hand. I guess I'll play Avacyn's Pilgrim. I just want to get him out of my hand. I'm going to assume that they're going to go after, like, Vordenklecks here. No, they're going after their awakened... Very strange opponent. I guess they just really wanted to find an answer. Maybe like a farewell or something. Too bad we have a billion mana and a full grip. And a farewell or a board wipe of any kind really means you tap down your entire board and Vordenklecks just fucking decimates you. I do kind of want to just hit the farewell here in a second. Get the Skyclave apparition out of the game. As we can see, they have ways of like blinking, bouncing, and anything of the like. I kind of want them to like go all in on some ideas though, and like tap out a bunch of mana to essentially give me a free turn first. You know, that's kind of where my brain's at. Where I'm like, I kind of want them to just kind of go for something big or cool, and then I'll hit the board wipe. We have Lauren to take care of that, thankfully. Okay, they're just going all in. Yeah, we'll absolutely wipe the board after this. After this, everyone's swinging in, and we are sunfalling just to get rid of all of their everything. Don't care anymore. We might have to hold Vordenklecks himself back, though. Thankfully, Sunfall is a board exile. Let me see. How do I want to handle this? First of all, a land. I want to spend as much mana as I can before Vordenklecks goes, though. Let's tap out a bunch of lands and stuff for Vordenklecks, and then make sure we have an extra 3 open. So this would only... Okay, yeah, I can do this. I'll have barely enough extra mana.
Let us see if your talents are worth cataloging. Patience fosters wisdom.
Okay, we have the game in the bag now. How do I say that? Because we win, essentially. Ooh, it's a fairy. I think Teferi technically is net mana positive. Alright, so Sunfall leaves me open to 4 total mana. Yeah, we Sunfall. Oh, I should have tapped Awakened Skyclave. I forgot about his existence. Ah, that's my bad. Ah, I forgot about the Skyclave. Oh. Not the Skyclave, the, No, what am I thinking of? Was that his name? Is that the Battle Flip's name? Awakened Skyclave, yeah, I was right the first time. Alright, that is the Battle Flip's name. Goodbye to that. You're gone for an entire turn now, opponent. Basically phased out of existence. Like a little constructy boy. Discard that. You have 1 mana. Spend it wisely. We have an 11/11. That's pretty good if you ask me. They have 2 mana. You gods. Selfless Savior, you shouldn't have. Oh, like really, you probably shouldn't have.
I could explain what I'm about to do, but I'd rather show than tell.
I have developed a new hypothesis.
So many noises. Are they going to give me the Iganjo? I doubt it. Darn, they gave me the Iganjo. How could they fall for such a classic schoolyard blunder? Jesus Christ, that noise. Alright, let's go ahead and draw some cards. Ooh, fellow by retreat. Hi, boy. I guess we play Armored Scrap Gorger then? And untap a blue source to make sure we can wash away for 3 if they play a board wipe like Farewell.
Who's counting?
That's probably the right play. I'm at a very complicated board state right now, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. You ever hit that point when you're playing like a really like do a bunch of stuff the deck where you're just like, my board state is so wide and I have so many things to do on my turn that I don't know what to do anymore? I get that way when I play one of my paper decks, my Kozla Broken Halo deck. Because that deck gets a lot of tokens, a lot of crazy stuff with convoking, and then a lot of triggers as well. A lot of fucking triggers. Like, holy shit, so many fucking triggers. That's what happens when you play Kite Car and Elspeth and goodbye Elish Norn. And that should be game. Unless my opponent has something. Yeah, that's game. Yeah, minor misplays in there. I should have tapped that guy for mana when I cast the Sunfall. I would have had a little more mana, a little more room to wiggle, but as you can see, we kind of just won anyways. I don't know why they replayed Elish Norn. They should have just played some chump blockers. I can see that they have some small creatures in their hands. I can only imagine that, like, Rumor Gatherer into something would probably be enough to, like, at least hold this guy back, and then, like, what is 8 damage a turn's not that bad, but whatever. Their play, not mine. GG's opponent. On to the next. We are going first into the Tropic of Urborg. A very scary Orzhov Legends Matter deck. Other zombies have vigilance. When another legendary creature you control dies, create a token that's a copy. We'll decline that. We don't need to. We have no turn 1 play. We have 2 options here, either Growth Spiral or Mindstone. It's looking like Into the North. Now you might be like, but Phil, that wasn't an option. I don't care. You play Into the North ASAP because it gets a tapped land out of the way. And then we are allowed to play Tamiyo as early as turn 2. And she will either die in a blaze of glory,
I would like to test
or
a
we'll
new
be able to ultimate very soon.
I have many scrolls of data to share.
Raids, egads. What are you going to sacrifice? Raids? You're going to sack a land? You're going to draw a card if you sack a land. Be my guest. We'll play this. And we'll do this to make it so that if they swing at us, we at least get to draw cards. God, I hope they swing at us. I think they're checking out what Tamiyo's thing does. 'Cause it's pretty not normal. And a lot of people don't realize that it's I get to draw cards when they swing stuff. They don't get to draw a card because I chose their creature. It is just whenever those creatures deal combat damage, you, aka me, draws a card. Oh, we have Watley's Raptor. Nice. I don't know why they just sacked their braids like that. Very confusing. The Raptor means that we can, that's why. The Raptor means that we can pre-combat proliferate here and, just slam ultimate.
I have learned little here. I am glad to help my colleagues.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is very bad, opponent. Oh, opponent, this is very bad. Why did I randomly go into a French accent there? Because I thought it would be funny. Yeah, being able to ultimate that soon meant that my hand was open season. Drawing cards Temporal Sundering, Ikamura Gauntlet, and Karn himself means that, to put it politely, they're fucked. But GG's opponent. You did do some cheeky little plays. I liked the no one left behind play. That was nice. That was a good touch. Wasn't quite enough, but it was a nice touch. On to the next. We're playing into Rusko and we go first. I think that's debatably good enough of a reason to keep this hand. Rusco is an incredibly annoying commander. Probably one of the most overpowered commanders in the format, actually. No, that's not a joke. I sincerely believe he's one of the most overpowered commanders in the format because he's an alchemy card who has never been rebalanced for some ungodly reason. He pulls a Golos. See, my opponent didn't even bother to do the combat trick. Yeah, whatever. We just play Tamiyo ASAP.
I am Tamiyo.
We can get free card draw.
It is an honor to meet you. Listen and learn.
And if they don't buff up the evolved sleeper here, we just... I don't know what we do. My opponent's playing very slowly though, it's quite awkward. Alright, we kill the sleeper now. Let's go with 3-3. God, he doesn't even die to
Violence is impolite.
Doesn't even die to Doomblade.
New data is always welcome.
I think I just kind of have to hold back, honestly. I don't think I can afford to do anything. I think I just kind of have to pray and play Sunfall and hope that they don't have a 1-mana counterspell for Sunfall. That's really all there is to it. They're just going to buff up their Evolved Sleeper again? Kind of cheeky. I like it. Oh, they don't March of Wretched Sorrow? Do I have a way around this? No, I don't. Oh well.
My research has been
I mean, I don't quite get why they just did that, because it's not like Tamiyo going away changes the effect on the creatures. Meaning, I draw 2 cards here. Thanks, though. Ooh, it's a fairy, my friend.
I won't hide from the world any longer. You need to
Farewell.
take time out.
You might think it's a bit of a weird one to do that and then just be like, ah, they can play Rusco now, though. Sure. Bro. Imagine unironically thinking that's a good idea in any form. I fucking can't, man. That's fucking hilarious. You really put Invoked as Spare in your Rusco deck? It's adorable, man. That is adorable. Ah, it's a Fairy Master of Time. Man, you really are boredom incarnate, huh, opponent? You just, like, don't want to have fun, do you?
Time to improvise.
All they can do is make target creature I control phase out. Alright, so math is hard here, but I think if we play Ichormoon Gauntlet, we can ultimate... we can ultimate Tamiyo. Yeah, we ultimate Tamiyo here, and we probably win as a result of that. Because we just get to play a lot of stuff for free.
Ideas, like seconds, are fleeting.
Every story is worth listening to.
Like, I don't know. An extra turn. Sure, you can have an extra counter. Thank you. I should have played Run and Realm Breaker first. I didn't think it through. Enjoy. And Realm Breaker, you get a thing. Green, I guess. And Realm Breaker gets a thing. I guess we Sunfall here. And in Realm Breaker, you get a thing. We will actually just proliferate first. Sounds like a weird choice. But it's got potential, because now we -7, and we can just play whatever the hell we want from our graveyard for cost in place of for free. So now, we just pay for Teferi Hero of Dominaria.
Oh, you'll get over.
I have something that kills you, but okay.
I'm not going to sit. You know what? I'm not done yet.
Let's make a little cat. So now we can just play stuff from our graveyard
I was out of sync.
for cost and play stuff from our hand for free. Which is kind of cool. I mean, they can play Rusco, but they're going to be in for a tough time. I don't quite know what their plan is from here, because we have quite the state rolling. Ah, Narset. Scary card.
If you wish to surrender
If I
now,
try and draw.
I understand. Meditate.
Here's the thing, though. Who says I have to, like, immediately draw cards? They gotta keep safe, so now they can keep their guy safe. Except they immediately played him. And keep safe costs 2 mana. Opponent?
Let's take
Keep safe costs 2 mana. Your Narset's gonna die now. I guess that was kind of interesting.
I still have much to
We will
learn.
just use this as an opportunity to proliferate, make our stuff bigger. Oh, we did it in the wrong order. That's my bad. We're missequencing things a lot. See? This one doesn't matter as much, though. I apologize for the really loud proliferate noise you're about to hear.
You would make an excellent informant for my study.
I guess they could be playing Blood on the Snow, and that would cause me some minor problems. Oh my goodness, they can finally play Keep Safe. But I have a 6-9, a 6-6, and a 7-7. Oh no, I go for the throat. Egads. Now they're only 4-4s and 5-5s. And I can just play that again from my graveyard. Thanks, opponent. Kinda had to exile it, but okay. Can we go infinite yet? I don't think so. I don't think we're quite there.
someone call for a hero?
Teferi, draw me a card and see if I... Oh, they're dead. They're done. I was very close to going infinite. I think if I drew one of my proliferation enablers, I could have gotten there. Actually, I should have minused... I misplayed. I should have -2'd this Teferi, because then I could have hunted for one of my cards that, like Tekuthal, who allows me to proliferate more often. And then I could have, like, double proliferated. Would have been like 11 counters, and maybe I would have found something in that amount of time. But yeah, my opponent was in a... They were up shit creek without a paddle. But GG's, Rusco. On to the next. Yeah, I kind of hope you get what I meant when I said at the beginning Tamiyo is busted. I really, like, some of those games just kind of showed off the whole thing. When I was talking about going infinite, I really meant basically taking infinite turns. I think with 4 Planeswalkers out and Tekuthal out, you gain 8 loyalty a turn per Planeswalker. If you are proliferating all of them, right? Because each of them proliferates twice, so it's +1/+1, +1/+1, +1/+1, +1/+1. So it's 4 instances of going double ones, which is 8. So you get 8 a turn if everything proliferates, and 6 a turn otherwise, with Tekuthal on board. And that's what and y'all, you probably saw it once or twice there, where I just had Ichor Moon Gauntlet on board, and I was able to just keep throwing counters and counters and counters and counters and counters and counters and counters on my stuff. And they were just becoming nigh impossible to deal with. You combine that with running really powerful creatures. Elishno and Grand Cenobite, Jin-Gitaxias, Koragar, Vorinclog's Voice of Hunger. Very few decks can keep up with you once you're to the point of playing multiple Planeswalkers for free. In case you run into this deck in Hell Queue, which I'm surprised I haven't run into it more, considering I play a lot of commanders up in the more powerful section of the queue. If you run into this as the opponent's commander, counter it, kill it, keep killing it. That is, it is a murder on-site commander. It is like Ragavan, in that regard. It is like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria in that regard. Like Yorion. Any of these commanders who are just a value machine on their own. The newest Narset Enlightened Exile. Another great example. Tamiyo Field Researcher is one of those cards that is just that level of good in the command zone. And you need to make it cost as much as possible, as fast as possible, because it will overwhelm you. It will give your opponent tons of free card draw, because the +1 targets your things and makes you not want to attack. It can just tap your creatures down and make them unable to attack in the first place, if they're in a pretty comfy position. And if it's allowed to ultimate through proliferation or some other nonsense, they just get omniscience. Combine that with, I don't know, like I said, Ren and Realmbreaker Ultimate. If you're not exiling this stuff, they're going to play it a second time from the graveyard. Really powerful commander, really powerful card, really powerful deck as well. I really like the way that this one curves and plays. You have so much ramp in the lower end that getting to play the 4, 5, 6 plus cost cards, it works out just about every time. It's really great. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and you'll see more content like this on the channel in the future. And all that stuff really supports me as well on days like this where my internet dies. Not like unable to record or anything, unable to stream. It's a long story, viewer. But if you show up at my streams, you'll see for yourself. Either way, thanks for getting on and watching. You're cool and I appreciate you. And I hope to catch you in the next one.